So for my final discovery project, I decided that I wanted to make a button-down shirt inspired by Aztec textiles. So I chose a red pattern that you'll see in just a second that I think closely resembled some Aztec patterns. And I started by tracing an outline of a shirt I already had, and I would use this as my template. And then I sewed a few stitches just to keep these pieces in place while I did it on the sewing machine. So I started out with the back of the shirt and it would wrap around to the front. Now here's the textile pattern you can see. I really like this pattern, and from all my research it pretty closely resembled some of the other Aztec patterns I'd seen. So I think it's a good representation. So I'm going to be doing the right half of the shirt the left half of the shirt in the pink pattern and the right half in the black flannel. Now keep in mind I had zero experience in sewing going into this, so I was kind of just doing my best and trying to figure it out as I went along. I didn't watch any videos or read anything about how to sew. I just really decided to kind of figure it out, and it was really fun to do this. So you can see here me using the sewing machine after I kind of stitch it together by hand, and now this is me setting up the sleeves. And the sleeves were kind of difficult because it was just kind of hard to get them onto the shirt and make them look good, but I think they turned out pretty well. I wasn't able to video the entire process of the sewing just because my phone was having technical difficulties while I was recording it, so I missed some of the steps, but I think I was able to get most of the steps of the sewing process. So right now I'm just trying to get the sleeve onto the shirt, and this was definitely the hardest part, getting the sleeve onto the shirt, just because orienting the sleeve right so it would fit on the shirt right was pretty challenging because I had to do it inside out, and then the shirt also had to be inside out. So now this is me doing my first attempt at a collar. I decided to just sew around the edge like this, and it didn't end up looking very good, so I ended up going back and fixing the collar, doing it a sort of different way. But here is me sewing the bottom of the shirt, and you can see it was always very fun when the sewing machine would get jammed and I'd have to fix it. But here's me sewing the bottom of the shirt, just to give it that nice little fold over to make it look better. And this was very fun. So there's not much else to say here, but yeah, there we go. Here is after I put pretty much the whole shirt together. This was me doing the buttons, and I didn't record me doing all the buttons because it just took so long to do the buttons. It was very tedious, and the buttons were, they were not very fun to do. But I did it, and it ended up looking pretty good, so I was pretty happy with the results. Here you can see the back, and the collar looks better than I thought it was going to look. I decided to do kind of a mock collar instead of a normal fold-over collar, but yeah, here are the results.